Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we have a very interesting concept for you today. So, pure archetypes versus balanced, which is better? Now, as you can see, we have two of my builds. Hopefully you guys have already seen the build videos. If not, I'm kind of spoiling it for you, but oh well, it is what it is. If you want to check these out, feel free to. It's the Shaq build versus the Embiid build. So, as you can see, they're both very similar in a sense. They're 7'1" with a max wingspan. However, Shaq is a little bit heavier, and then Embiid's a little bit lighter. So we got 237 versus 259. Now, as you can see, one can't shoot, the other can. And then you start looking around a little bit and you're like, well, they got nearly the same post control. They got the same standing dunk. They got the same close shot. The driving dunk's pretty much the exact same. If not, Embiid actually has more for that matter. So it's actually even a little bit better. You know, Embiid's got a little bit more vertical as well. It's got a little bit more speed, some agility on top of that, you know. I mean, the rebounding's not too far off. It's actually a bit far off on D-board, but badge-wise, it's pretty similar. Embiid's got gold rebound chaser and gold box out beast. Shaq has Hoff box out beast with gold rebound chaser as well. So it's not too far off in that sense. The shot blocking badges are the same. Shaq's interior defense gets tethered up by his strength, so it's literally just forced to, even though it doesn't apply to any badges either. And that's not exactly a real driving force of why a pure archetype would be better or worse. It's just that it just so happens that naturally happened with this build. But yeah, strength, Shaq wins. O-board and D-board, Shaq wins, and then interior defense, Shaq wins as well. And then obviously, you know, you would think that we're winning a lot on the interior scoring, but we're not. I mean, Embiid actually has more post control than the Shaq build even does. So really, it's just strength and rebounding and interior defense. That's all we have on the Embiid build. Otherwise, Embiid has more speed with ball, more ball handle, well, pretty marginal ball handle, but 10 more pass act, entirely more shooting, 74 three-pointer with 78 mid-range, and then a 91 free throw compared to 70. And again, one more post control, you know, more speed, more agility, all that. And, you know, this is all pretty much just to say to you guys that if you're looking at bigs, especially, outside bigs are actually looking very good this year. That marginal shooting is very cheap in this game. And we all noticed that in the builder when everybody was loading up. I'm sure all the people who are putting you onto poppers, max wingspan poppers, are telling you that 65 to 74 three-pointer in the mid-range is actually way cheaper than it ever has been. And that's why for my 6'10 or 6'11, I should say, I'm really considering making 65 three-pointer just to be able to maybe be able to shoot, whether even if it can't, it's not that big a loss on the build, to be honest with you. So yeah, we'll get you one last look at this, and then I'm going to compare two guards against each other, one that has dunk and one that doesn't, and compare as far as like that discussion between pure and balanced archetypes. So just to clarify, you know, you just like make it all understood. The one on the right is our balanced archetype. Clearly, you know, we got every bit of the pie chart getting filled up right here. We got finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, and physicals. The Shaq build right here, obviously, you know, lacking in the playmaking and shooting, and entirely the shooting, I should say. And then not really so much more significantly elite besides the fact that we have a lot more D-board and then more interior D. You know, because the finishing, like I said, is exactly the same. If not, Embiid technically wins in that regard between the driving, dunk, and post control. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into our second comparison here. So once again, we have the pure archetype on the left and then the balanced archetype on the right. Now, I know you can't see the badges that are correlated with this because we want to give you a good split screen, so let me just explain them to you. At 97 ball handle, you have all the same things except for legend handles for days is at 97. So that's the buff that you get in that sense that is all kind of unexplained between the ratings being changed. So anyway, we'll get back to the comparison now. Okay, so otherwise, we have exactly the same. Lightning launch on legend with the 94 speed with ball between both of them. As far as the finishing goes, 85 layup is, you know, one buff that we're getting toward the finishing, and then obviously the ability to dunk with bronze posterizer as well, which you have to have the higher vertical with. So you can see a couple of things get tethered differently with this. Between this one, like the steel forces the Prim D up a little bit more, and as you can see, it tethers that strength as well. So the Prim D going up 5 more makes it so the strength goes up 5 more, so that's why that looks like that. And then I just happened to have one more attribute point worth putting on, and it just was speed in this case. So comparing the two builds against each other, it has the same three-pointer, pretty much the same mid-range. You know, we have 90 on the outside one versus 89 on the inside one. So it's like pretty identical, but you could explain that that's where one extra little point is. Besides that, all the playmaking is exactly the same, minus that one ball handle we talked about. But here's the big difference between the two builds now. Obviously, you're looking at the defense versus the finishing. So you have to pretty much ask yourself, let's just go ahead and marginalize that 4 driving layup. It's not a huge deal. It's definitely affordable. You could get 85 on this build too if you wanted. You could probably just drop that mid-range and then boom, there's the driving lay. So let's just call that equal in that sense. You have to ask yourself, is one ball handle and 75 driving dunk, aka 50 more driving dunk, worth the difference of having 99 steal versus 85? and then 92 prim D versus 85 as well. So it's a pretty, I'm not gonna lie, just to put driving dunk on the build, that's a lot of defense lost. However, there are a lot of people out there that this is a life changer for, you know, like this driving dunk being on a build, it puts you no longer in danger of getting your stuff swatted every single time you go to the hoop or anything like that. Now, some people can definitely make it work with that driving layup only still, like for sure. Some people are definitely capable of that, but for others, like I said, some people really want that driving dunk. So whether that's worth it to you or not, that's the determining factor for you, in my opinion. They both have high block. They both have, well, actually, the one on the left has more interior defense. But again, that's very marginal stuff. It's not actually expensive to get that 12 or 13 interior defense that you're looking at. Same with, you know, like I was saying, the D board gets forced up off the prim D being high. So some stuff just naturally happens to be more high on the left build because of the defense being higher. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty identical builds in every aspect between the shooting and playmaking. It's just you have to compare the finishing and defense, because everything physically is still the same, you know, minus the vertical and stuff like that, which again has really no big impact in my opinion, minus the fact that you need it for the driving dunk and then obviously for the bronze posterizer. But yeah, I don't know, this one was definitely a more debatable one in my opinion. The Shaq versus Embiid was really, you know, pops out, and it's like, man, getting that shooting is very worth. But like in this case, getting dunk on every build, I'm not sure if it's worth, because I'm telling y'all, like that one on the left looks so freaking good. I mean, you have 99 steal, legend, interceptor, and glove, 92 prim D to protect yourself as a smaller guard even still. I mean, the one on the right is an offensive machine for sure, but yeah, it definitely lacks defensively at least a little bit. And I know you're probably thinking like 85 still good, but I mean, you are still 5'9" at the end of the day. And don't believe that just because you're 5'9", that's something to just neutralize the idea of upgrading defense. Steal will protect you. I mean, we've seen it in the past in every single year that small guards have ever been good. If you have some freakish steal rating like this, you're not getting the ball thrown at you very easily, man. A lot of people are going to think that they want to pick on you, but there's going to be some people that really can't run and get open very well and just going to throw some complete ducks at your head because they're thinking, well, let's pick on the little guy, you know? And boom, you're going to get so many steals involved with something like this. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, be a little bit more even balanced when it comes to the way that your build would be created and drop your three-pointer or drop your ball handle or something like that to then allow yourself to get the steal or prim D, you could definitely do so. But then you could argue the same thing about like dropping three-pointer on the one on the left and just upgrading dunk, you know? So I just wanted to dumb it down to this very easy to understand graphic right here where we're comparing a more pure archetype on the left versus a balanced archetype on the right. So again, as far as the bigs go, I think you could definitely argue that, you know, the balanced archetype wins for sure versus the pure archetype. But in this case, I don't know, man, so much. And I don't want to drop every build. I have so many more examples I could talk about like this. If you guys want to check them out yourself, comparing my pure lock that had no pass hack versus the Kawhi Leonard lock, that's another good discussion of a really balanced lockdown build versus a pure lockdown build that had like some real weaknesses like dunk and pass hack, but really came out on top in terms of having some great defensive ratings. Whereas the Kawhi one, very balanced, very, you know, fits all types of different molds, like 87 dunk for the contacts. It still has good three-pointer. It still has, you know, at least a doable ball handle rating and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out. You know, both those builds will be up within, you know, a couple hours to a day or something like that. So, you know, that was going to be my best comparison for the wings. But like I said, I don't want to show every single build that I have here. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try this one to 5,000 likes. If you enjoyed this video and you made it to the end, put pure or balanced in the comments to show your support your way through. Whichever one you lean toward, pure or balanced archetypes. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm pairing with NBA 2K Labs again this year. So in this time around, since it's so early, they're going to have early content such as the ratings you need for each badge and all the requirements with that are listed in, you know, visual form. We also have each takeover ratings boost, all the ratings that are boosted by every takeover. And a lot of this info, it's stuff I'm interested in seeing. Like that, for instance, is something I didn't spend my time on the game looking for, so you'll find it on their website, as well as the fact that I am super interested in that myself, so I'll be checking it out. And then also, as soon as the game drops, they're going to look for every animation requirement and list that on their website as well. All right, so as for the premium content, this is where the banger is. Now, obviously, this is 2K24 information right here. To get the 25, you're gonna have to subscribe, but 2K Labs is cool enough to let me show you the 24 info as an example. So, for instance, you got a lot of different ways to sort it through here. You can look through green window, speed, you can look for the fastest millisecond jump shot, you can look for the total make percent. So, for instance, on the early, middle, and late end of the green window, what the chances are, then all that combined into the total average. You can look through the most makeable shots to the fastest ones with the biggest green window to the ones that fit your position group between the guards, wings, and bigs. It's fire. You can find the bases and the uppers in here and combine that for the best possible statistical jump shot, and it's just a huge tool, so shout out to them for that. And then you have ranking of dribble moves per category, so it's going to be like behind the backs ranks against each other, showing you which ones are the best. There's like a letter grade on each of them tested by Koza, so he's going to be ranking all those dribble moves in each category. And then we also have dribble practice tools, so it's going to be showing you exactly how to do the moves on the controller, and then you can replicate it on the controller in their website as well. So for anyone interested in supporting me while also getting access to the content, you can go ahead and subscribe to the 2K Labs Premium right here on NBA2KLab.com. And then when you click register, it'll allow you a chance to put in a creator code of someone you want to support. And then if you put in code Laker at checkout, you'll get 20% off of your whole purchase right there. And not that some of you guys care, but just to let you know, I get a percentage based off only your initial purchase. So if you got the monthly, I would only get a percentage based on your first month. So if you do want to support me a little bit and plan to get like 3 to 6 or even a year-long subscription, feel free to get those and I would really appreciate it. But I get that not everybody wants to. So if you want just the monthly as well, that's cool too. So anyway, that's code Laker at checkout. Appreciate you guys for watching. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.